So our problem statement is that if somebody comes wanting to go into a pilot career, so we are looking at certain things to assure if they can succeed in that career, they can go through the vigorous training and be in that career for a long enough period. We are also seeing if they'll have it in them to pursue that career, pursue the education as well as the career in that direction. So these are some of the things that we are looking at, and we have done some research and we are here to share our results in that as well.
If a person has to become a pilot, that means there will be a lot of travel involved. In Jyotish terminology, that means third house or the 12th house has to be linked to their profession house, which is the 10th house, right? And these lords have to have Cheshta Bal. On top of that, this promise has to be in their Rashi chart, that means skills have to be there. Desire has to be there, that means Navam should show this promise. And skill and desire could also mean a hobby. This has to be linked to their profession, that means Dasham should also show this promise. Additionally, their training has to be in that profession. That means their 5th house and 10th house lords have to be well placed to each other. They should not be hampering each other's indications. On top of all this, none of these important factors, 10th house, 12th house, should be pulling them down. That means their lord should not be Kambas, debilitated, MKS, etc. So we'll obviously go through that in detail. And many a time, successful pilots would want to go abroad. That means Rahu has to have a connection with either 9th house or 12th house. So these were some of the elements that we thought that we will look at. We looked at many pilot charts as well as non-pilot charts. In fact, we selected non-pilot charts even from a similar industry. So for example, aeronautical engineers we tested, engineers, doctors. So we went through a whole lot of combinations to make sure that our thesis is very strong.
So let's elaborate on what Aditya just mentioned. He summarized the 3 sutras that we looked at, and now we'll dive into each sutra and show an accompanying chart to explain exactly what we mean. So the first sutra. So for a pilot, as Aditya was saying, the placement of the 10th lord in the 3rd house or 12th house, or conjunction or mutual aspect with the 3rd lord or 12th lord should be there in at least 2 of the following: the Rashi chart, Navamsha chart, or Dashamsha chart. So why? Well, this indicates a career in travel, foreign connections, risk-taking, movement, and all of these align with aviation. So we know that the Navamsha chart shows whether a career path is aligned with destiny, and the Dashamsha chart talks about career specifically. So the second part of this sutra, which is very, very important, is that we observe that if it's the 3rd lord or house which is connected with the 10th lord, then the 3rd lord should have a high Cheshta Bal. But if it's the 12th lord or house which is connecting with the 10th lord, then the 12th lord should have a high Cheshta Bal. And we know that grahas with high Cheshta Bal indicate a very significant activity or influence in a person's life, especially related to efforts. So Cheshta Bal is a component of Shadbala, and it represents the apparent motion of a planet. So a planet with high Cheshta Bal will show that it exerts a stronger influence on a person's chart. So for example, if the 3rd lord has a high Cheshta Bal, it suggests that the person is making a lot of efforts and their actions will be very results-oriented. So finally, the third part of this big sutra that we have is looking at whether the 3rd lord or 12th lord are heavily afflicted or not. We have to, why is this important? Because, for example, if the 3rd lord is debilitated, it may mean that the native will have, for example, weak reflexes in high pressure situations, which is not acceptable for a pilot. Or if the 12th lord, let's say, is in Marana Karakastana, It might mean that the person is not suited to frequent travel to foreign lands, which is also not suitable for a pilot. So why don't we look at a chart where we'll demonstrate these sutras in action.
Sure. So let's check a chart. So here we have got chart of army pilot, and let's see if these sutras applies. So the first sutra is 10th lord connection with 3rd lord or 3rd house, or 12th lord or 12th house in Rashi chart, Navansh chart and Dashans. So in this chart, let's see the Rashi chart first. So as you see here, 10th lord is Mars, and Mars is sitting in 12th house in Rashi chart. So that shows there is a connection between 10th lord and 3rd lord in 10th house. Now let's see the Navansh chart. In Navansh chart, the 3rd lord is Saturn. And if you see aspect of Saturn, it is aspecting our 10th lord, which is Sun. So this sutra satisfies in Navansh chart as well. And now coming to Dashansh chart, here if you see our 10th lord is Venus. And Venus goes and sits in 12th house. So again, this sutra is also satisfied. So all these three conditions, this important sutra is satisfied not only in the Rashi chart, but we also see it satisfied in Navansh chart and Dashansh chart as well. Now, the next part is we need to look at Cheshta Bal of 3rd lord or 12th lord. So 3rd lord of our Rashi chart, it's Mercury, and our 12th lord is also Mercury. So let's look at the Cheshta Bal. In Cheshta Bal, if you see, Mercury is pretty good, Cheshta Bal of 53.5, and in fact it is 3rd highest Cheshta Bal here. So it's a pretty good Cheshta Bal for someone looking to become a pilot. So again, this sutra also satisfies pretty well. And next important thing to check is the 3rd lord and 12th lord, it should not be in a bad position. It should not be in Marankarak Sthan or debilitated or combust or heavily afflicted with 2-3 malefics. If you see, our 3rd lord, which is Mercury, it's sitting with Saturn. So of course there is some affliction, but there is no other aspect. So there is only affliction, there is only conjunction with one malefic, but no other aspect, no other negative aspect. So if it was 2 or 3 planets having malefic influences, then probably we would have said that this condition is not satisfied, this sutra is not satisfied. But since it's just one malefic influence, we would assume, we can call it safely that this sutra also satisfies for this particular chart. So all 3 sutras for this native, it satisfies in this particular chart. And let's see, do we have more sutras?
We sure do. But this was the main sutra that we saw satisfied in 83% of pilots' charts that we analyzed. And the important thing is that 0% of non-pilots had this combination. So this is very important in discriminating pilots from non-pilots. The next 2 sutras, you could call them supporting sutras. So some non-pilots will have them too, but they should be present in the pilot's charts. For example, Rahu should be in the 9th house or 12th house or conjunct the 9th lord or 12th lord, simply because this indicates strong themes of travel, foreign connections, and even an unconventional path in life, which, being a pilot, many would say is unconventional. So it should be present in a pilot's chart. So why don't we look at that sutra?
In the second chart, we will try to establish the sutra, Rahu connection with 9th house or 12th house in Rashi chart. Rahu is sitting in 3rd house. 8th, in the 12th house, we have 8th Rashi, Mars. So Mars and Rahu both are conjunct in 3rd house. So we can very safely say that this sutra is established in this chart. Next sutra, Ketaval.
Yes, so finally, another supporting sutras that we want to see in every pilot's chart is, we have to examine the position, whether the 5th lord from the 10th lord and the 5th lord from the 10th house are not in dusthanas relative to each other. And this will ensure that the person will have smooth decision-making, skills execution, and a stable career path. So let's see it in a chart.
In this chart, if you see, fifth lord Mars from 10th lord Mercury, they are not in 6, 8 or 12. Mars and Mercury. From Mars, Mercury is 11th, and for Mercury, Mars is 3rd. So this case also gets satisfied for this chart.
Should we look at some antithesis charts?
Okay, the next chart we look at is of a native who is not a pilot. This native is a movie producer. So the first sutra is being met here, the 10th lord connection with the 3rd lord house or 12th lord house in the D1, D9, D10 charts, right? So let's look at it. The 10th lord is Saturn, which is present in the 12th house in D1, in the Rashi chart. So that has been met. In the Navamsh chart, the 10th lord and the 3rd lord are both Venus. So they are, that sutra is also being met. The next one is the Shrestha Bal of the 3rd lord or the 12th lord. So in the D1 chart, the 12th lord is Mars. And looking at the Shrestha Bal, Mars has the second highest Shrestha Bal. So that sutra is also being met. But the third one is, we should not have the 3rd lord or 12th lord heavily afflicted. Over here, the 3rd house lord is Moon. Moon has 3 Papa Dosha. Moon is aspected by retrograde debilitated Saturn. Moon is conjunct with debilitated Sun and also aspected by malefic Rahu. So for these reasons, that particular sutra is preventing this native from becoming a pilot.
Yeah, so this is our research, and we also have outlined some future scope which we can work with as well. So we're also looking at a bigger sample of charts varying from astronauts, domestic pilots, international pilots, and all the other variations in the charts as well. If someone has become a pilot and they have discontinued from the career, so all these other combinations as well, we are looking for. That is our future scope.
So to further our research, we would really love it if any pilots who are watching this, or friends of pilots, family members of pilots, can share the birth details in the comments section. So we need exact birth time, date, location. Then we will grow our database of pilots and be able to make more conclusive research results.
So thank you for joining with us, and we hope our research has helped further your Jyotish learning as well.